the Magic Millions. Skirt The Law has taken over and kicked away. Skirt The Law's in front, and Skirt The Law's all too good. Skirt The Law's won by length and a half.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Final Gallop, proudly supported by Brisbane Airports Hotels Group and PlayUp. I'm Baylee Nothdurft, replacing Claire Bird, who's having a really well-earned holiday in the Pacific Islands. This week we are joined by our racing manager, Mitch Treleaven. Good morning, Mitch.
Morning, Vales.
It was another good week for the stable last week, with Mushy Ali and Situation Room both saluting at Doomben last Saturday, and obviously another really gallant effort from Zoo Style in the McEwen Stakes to run fourth. Yeah,
he couldn't have run much better down in Melbourne. He really enjoys that short course around Moonee Valley, so couldn't have gone much better, and he'll go to Amoya in 3 weeks' time and be very competitive again there. And the two winners at Doomben were outstanding, Mushy and Situation Room. So yeah, really good week, and hopefully we can keep it going this week.
Okay, let's start our Saturday preview at Flemington. The rail is in the true position. Track is currently a good 4 with fine days forecast for the rest of the week. In race 3, we have in the list as Sofitel over 1400. We have Antino with 59.5 kilos with James Orman, his regular rider, going down to ride him from barrier 1. Early odds with PlayUp are $2.40 the win and $1.30 the place. He is first up for the spring, having won 8 of his 9 starts so far. He streeted the field in his last run for the preparation in the listed Wayne Wilson Mile. How is he looking to start off this prep?
Yeah, it looks the right race for him. Barrier 1, he's got the big weight, which he's certainly earned, and I think just the way the noms have come up, it's not the strongest listed race. I think that's why he's been given that. Obviously, that's why he's got that weight. So not a great deal of speed in the race either. So he should land just off that speed where he's comfortable, and I don't think he needs to improve all that much to win on Saturday. But there certainly will be improvement out of it as we look towards possibly a Toorak in a few weeks. So. He's the right odds, I think, and he just needs to execute the way he has been, and I think he'll be hard to beat.
Beautiful. Our other runner at Flemington is Skirt The Law, who's in race 6, the listed Cap Don Tees Stakes for 3-year-old fillies over 1100 metres up the straight. She will be ridden by Ryan Maloney, her regular rider, with 57.5 kilos from barrier 23. Early odds with PlayUp are $4 the win and $1.75 the place. The Magic Millions winner is second up for the spring after a very close second in the Group 3 Quezette at Caulfield, and that form has since been franked with Charm Stone winning really impressively the other day at the Valley.
Certainly has. Didn't really go to plan first up at Caulfield. I think she got a little bit lost first time, which a lot of horses do coming from Sydney and Brisbane. So the wide draw is probably a good thing. She can get on that Queensland rail, and Tis Enough looks the leader, who's drawn just inside, so we should be able to, whether we sit just off her, even sit outside her, we've got a lot of speed. So the form's certainly the right form going into this race.
Yeah.
Again, she's just got to execute a little bit better than what she did the other day, but I can't see her not running really, really well on Saturday.
For sure. Okay, on to the preview of our runners back here in Queensland at Eagle Farm on Saturday. It's Well Groomed Raceday in support of some wonderful causes. The rail's in the 2 metre position. Track is currently a good 4 with a fine days ahead. Off to race 1, a class 3 plate over 1600 metres. Tenzing is our runner in this. He will carry 57.5 kilos with Angela Jones aboard, and he comes into barrier 7. Early odds with PlayUp are $5.50 the win and $2.15 the place. He's building up really nicely into his prep now. He presents third up on the weekend, and last start he wasn't far away with a third over the 1350. He will enjoy he should enjoy the rise in trip here, and the blinkers go on.
Yeah, I think there's a few of us that might have been a little disappointed with the way he finished off last start, but I think it was telling he really wanted to get to the mile now.
Yeah.
And he's certainly going to be better off over at Eagle Farm as well, I think. So blinkers going on should switch him on a bit as well. Early in the race, probably the key, get him in, get him some cover, and I think he'll hit the line really well. It's not a very strong race. Normally when you get over 14, 15, 1600 in these class 3s on Saturday, there's a little bit of a tail to the races, so it's not a strong race, and I think if he can execute, he's going to be right in the finish. I think he's the right price. He's a good each way price at the moment. He'll probably shorten a little bit, but I think he's certainly one of the main chances.
No, for sure. Our next runner is in race 2, a benchmark 78 handicap over the 2,412 metres. That is Coupe d'Itinere. He will carry 55 kilos with Ben Thompson aboard from barrier 6. His early odds with PlayUp are $4.80 the win and $2.20 the place. He probably went a touch too hard last start, but he gave a good side out in front over the 2200 before just getting run down the final 200. He does meet the winner this week, 2.5 kilos better at the weights in this race, and has won over the 2400 metres before.
Yeah, he got a little bit fired up with the blinkers on, so fingers crossed he's just a bit better with that experience. And small field here, we'll roll forward like he always does. He races really well at Eagle Farm, and he's won over this trip, so it's not the strongest race. It's probably only a few chances. He's one of them. He just needs to relax a little bit more in front and give him the chance to finish off his race a little better. I think the favourite's the one to beat. It's sort of lightly raced and has put 2 or 3 together so far, so it's the one to beat. So if we can get that nice run up in front, which I think he should, he'll certainly be fighting out the finish.
For sure. Our next runner is in race 5. Benchmark 85 handicap over the 1810 metres. That is fifth position. He's going to carry 59 kilos with Ben Thompson from barrier 4, and his early odds with PlayUp are $10 the win and $3.10 the place. He was solid in his first run for our stable last start, despite losing momentum on the home turn. He drops 200 metres and slightly in grade for this race. How do you think he'll go, Mitch?
Yeah, I think this is sort of his trip. I was going through his form the other day, and 1800 to 2000 is sort of where he enjoys his racing, and he didn't help himself last year. He wanted to lay in a little bit, and he was held up at the 100. So the winner's come out and won again since. So it's probably the right form for a race like this. Again, he's similar to the others. He just needs to execute because his best runs win this race comfortably. He's got a bit of weight, but he's down in grade, and it's a race of few chances. Probably sound like a broken record here, but if he can execute the way we know he can, he's a good each way chance actually. I like him at that price.
Very good. Race 7 is a 3-year-old benchmark 70 handicap over the 1000 metres. We have 2 runners in this race. We'll start off with Ventura. She'll carry 53 kilos with Angela Jones from barrier 4. Her early odds with PlayUp are $8.50 the win and $2.70 the place. She was a strong win on debut 3 weeks ago, and she stays at the 1000 metres from a good gate.
Yeah, she was terrific first up. Obviously steps up significantly in grade here, but we've always had a bit of an opinion of her. Whether she probably wants a little further now was the question mark, but I think the space between runs will help her there. Maps to get a nice run, probably just off the speed. It's a really good race, this. It's a good early season 3-year-old, and whoever wins will certainly earn it on Saturday. She'll take a lot out of this run. It's just whether she can go to that level straight away, but we've certainly got a big opinion of her, and I think she's probably the right price, and she'll give a really good sight with the right run.
For sure. Our other runner in the race is Instagood. She'll carry 53 kilos with Damien Thornton aboard from barrier 1. Her early odds with PlayUp are $11 the win and $3.40 the place. She won on debut before a fast finishing 3rd at this track and distance and is in a good form race. She comes out of a good form race and gets Damien Thornton aboard.
Yeah, she was probably in a similar boat to Ventura last start. We just weren't sure whether she could measure up straight away back to the 1000 metres, and she was awesome. She probably should have gone really, really close to winning. She didn't have much luck, didn't get out until late in the straight. So again, she's going to have to improve from that. This is a stronger race, but she's proved she's up to Saturday grade already, and she's going to get a lovely run from that inside draw. So I think she'll be finishing very strongly. Again, probably the right price, but she's going to get the right run to feature very late in the piece.
No worries. Race 8 is a Class 6 handicap over the 1000 metres. We have 2 runners in this. Osama, who's right behind us there, he's got 57 kilos with CJ Graham's 2 kilo claim and comes out of barrier 5. Early odds with PlayUp are $8.50 the win and $2.60 the place. It's his first run for our stable, and he's placed 5 out of 7 first up and is ready to go after a trial and a nice jump out on Tuesday to prepare him for this.
Yeah, a recipe that's worked in the past. The trial or jump out on the Tuesday, and then running on the Saturday. I think the 2 kilo claim really brings him in nicely in weights here.
Yeah.
The run he's going to get from the alley, he'll roll forward, and it's just whether he gets an easy enough time in front.
Yeah.
Is probably going to be the thing. He'll improve again out of this, which he always does second up. But yeah, I think he'll give a really good side up in front. He's the right price.
Our other runner is Shematon. He's got 56 kilos with Angela Jones aboard from Barrier 3. His early odds with PlayUp are $9 the win and $2.80 the place. He won 2 starts ago at Doomben over the 1200 before getting too far back and charging on last start also over the 1200 metres. Back to the 1000 here, and he has drawn well.
It was a good run last start in a pretty strong race. I think back to the 1000 with the space between runs is going to be ideal for him, and he'll track that hot speed and get the last crack at him. His work Tuesday was outstanding, so I think he's a really good each way chance. I think they're probably equal chances of, which shows in their odds. They're just going to get different runs, so if they go too hard up in front, he's going to get the last crack at him, and I think he's a good each way chance.
On to race 9 now, benchmark 85 handicap over the 1500 metres. We have Star of Chaos in this, 54 kilos with Angela Jones aboard, and she is in barrier 9. Her early odds with PlayUp are $3.50 the win and $1.40 the place. She's going for 3 wins in a row on Saturday since the blinkers went on. Went to the front from a wide gate last start and won by a length over the 1400. She rises 100 metres in this, up in grade, down in weight. It's usually a good recipe.
Yeah, I think she was really well in at the weights last start when she was down in the weights there, so the step up to 1500 won't worry her, and I think she's probably going to get an identical run to last start, roll forward from that wide draw and do her thing up in front. It's a little bit of a stronger race. I think the one just underneath her is certainly the one to beat, but she makes her own luck up in front. She's improved from that, and I think she's our best chance on Saturday.
Right, we're in the final furlong on the Final Gallop. Who is your best winning chance at the Metros on Saturday?
Your Star of Chaos, yeah. Star of Chaos here, and obviously we've got 2 equally good chances in Flemington, so I think Star of Chaos here, and you can back both of them with confidence down in Melbourne.
Best each way chance?
Shamadan and Tenzing.
Best at the provincials?
Kaylen's on Friday at Ipswich will be really hard to beat, and a nice 3-year-old with Ron Simpson on board on Sunday is Quaid, who's going to be hard to beat. The draws aren't out yet, but if he draws well, he should be really, really hard to beat.
Who was the best under your watchful eye in work this week, Mitchell?
I thought Shamadan was very good on the course proper. The data we got back on him was terrific, so I'll go with him.
And who was your performance of the week?
I couldn't split the 2 on Saturday. Situation Room and Michelle, they both were terrific, and hopefully Situation Room goes on to a Wheatwood and will be hard to beat there.
Now, courtesy of PlayUp this week, it's a stable special offer, and it is $3.50 for Skirt The Law to finish top 2. Last week's special got up again for punters with $3 for Zoostyle to run top 4. So looks a nice special again this week. For sure, yeah. Obviously, you look at the prices, she might get into sort of $3.50 just to win. So certainly a good special for her to run top 2. We know she's going to run a really, really good race. It's now time for Cav's Corner, proudly sponsored by Brisbane Airports Hotels Group. He's on a roll, which I don't like saying, going for 3 weeks on with the winning multis. Last week he had Mushiali a win into Situation Room, a place, and it paid about $9 or $10. Let's see what he's lined up this week.
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. This week we'll go to Ipswich on Friday, and we'll go Cleanse a win. And then we'll venture to Brisbane on Saturday, and we'll go in the first race. We'll go Tenzing a win. Blinkers on for the first time. Good punting, guys. And before I go, this little section here, Cav's Corner, comes on later on the Final Gallop. I hope you people enjoyed watching Richie and Bill. Richie Benno and Bill Laurie. It'll be good viewing.
Well, he's been in a better mood the last sort of 2-3 weeks because his multis have been saluting, so I think everyone around the stable probably prefer if they keep winning, and I think Kaylan's Friday is going to be very hard to beat. We're not obviously sure what price it'll be yet. And yeah, Tenzing with the blinkers on getting to the mile, as we said earlier. So I think it's a good multi, and hopefully he can keep winning for us.
Yeah, 100%. Like seeing Cav very happy. Don't like him when he's cranky. Good luck on Saturday, Mitch. We'll make sure Cav is well groomed for the Well Groomed Raceday at Eagle Farm on Saturday.
He always dresses like a winner, as he says, so I dare say it won't be changing on Saturday. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get some winners here and in Melbourne.
No worries, thank you.